Listen carefully. This video is going to save your entire fantasy football season. I'm sharing with you the top 10 fantasy football traps, aka busts, in this video. You need to stay away from these players or you will have your league destroyed. So I'm doing it vlog style and I'm doing it out in nature here for you guys to give you guys some scenery. So it's an exciting, immersive experience. Now there is a bit of background noise. There is a little bit of animals are probably around here that could attack at any time. But hey, it's the NFL, right? There's tons of animals. There's eagles, there's lions, there's bears. So we're going to do the nature thing here since we're all football fans, right? So we are talking about 10 players that could screw your team. Do not draft. These are traps. I can't wait to dive into this list of these 10 guys because I'm going to save your season. Now, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, smash it, tap it, slap it, and secure the 16-round draft solution, because I'm telling you right now, you will be light years ahead of the sheep in your league. They won't even know what hit them once you got 16 rounds because you have a backup plan for a backup plan for a backup plan. You'll be light years ahead of the sheep, okay? Again, 10 players that could absolutely bust. All I ask is that you hit the thumbs up, though, and drop a comment below. Are you drafting these guys? Are you fading these players? What are you doing? I want to know because I'm giving you the names and I'm giving you the reasons why. It's up to you to make a decision on whether you will avoid them or not. All right, now I'm in an open field here, so if I get attacked by a bear, understand the counselor went down doing what he loved, and that is giving you guys fantasy football advice. Just for that, I deserve a thumbs up, okay? Not even just for giving you information that's going to save your league, but just for being out here in the nature, risking it all in this beautiful, look at that, clear skies, beautiful sunshine, taking it all in, all right? So the first player, let's dive into it, all right? The first player that I'm avoiding, now, I may sound like a broken record, but I don't care, is T. Higgins. Why am I staying away from T. Higgins? This guy's coming off round 2. Round 2 for a guy that we know is going to be the number 2 wide receiver in Cincinnati. Now, this guy peaked last year. When I say peak, look at his numbers. 12 games, 109, what do you have? 109 targets, 73 receptions, 911 yards receiving, and 10 touchdowns. He will never see those numbers again. Not to mention this guy does not finish seasons. When I say he doesn't finish seasons, he played 12 games last year and 12 games the year after that, the year before that, okay? Doesn't finish seasons. This whole T. Higgins round 2 thing, it's got to stop. You guys got to stop with this. Don't do it. It's a waste of a pick, especially knowing that you're going to draft the beta on the team in the second round. That's way too expensive to draft the beta on the team. T. Higgins round 2 is ludicrous. It's a big time bust. Don't do it. It's a waste. There's so many other players that you can get, honestly, that are going to outperform T. Higgins. Believe me, there's guys that I'm drafting at the wide receiver position in the 10th round that can outperform and will outperform T. Higgins. So don't do it, guys. I'm going to save your season right now just with that pick. All right, so that's the first bust. The second bust, man, I don't get this. This is a guy that I was high on, a guy that I was promoting last year, telling everybody to draft him, is Ladd McConkey. He's the second guy here, okay? Ladd the Donkey McConkey. Don't be a donkey and draft Ladd McConkey. Why did you need to avoid this guy? He finished 12th last year, which isn't bad, but there was nobody else there. Now, I've been watching a lot of tape and training camp has started now. From what I'm hearing, Quentin Johnston's getting a lot of work. Quentin Johnston's catching the ball. So Quentin Johnston could even surpass this guy. I'm not saying he will, but I'm saying that now he's kind of in the groove. He's catching balls. And they drafted Trey Harris. They got Gaddiston, Oronde Gaddiston. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably butchering that name. They've got options. They got Omarion Hampton. They got Najee Harris as long he's in a hairy situation by not being able to see out of the one eye with the fireworks incident. Apparently he's fine though, but they've got other options. It's not just the Ladd McConkey show. Even when it was a Ladd McConkey show, he only had 112 targets, which is good. 82 receptions, 1,149 yards and 7 touchdowns. It's good, but that is kind of his ceiling based on no one being there. Now I've given you all these other players that are going to be there, including Trey Harris is going to be on the field a lot. A guy who can actually catch the ball, who I think is going to be the wide receiver 1 that I can get in the 10th round. Why wouldn't you grab yourself a Trey Harris? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I can get him later for pretty much free. Like, it's crazy not to do that, okay? So that's what I'm thinking. Ladd McConkey is going to be a bust, and he's coming off of the second round. This is the guy that I was telling you to draft in all your leagues, guys, last year. In all your leagues, grab the donkey is what I said. And now I'm telling you to avoid him. the guy that told you to grab him is telling you to avoid him. So don't draft McConkey second round. I think that's a huge, big time waste, okay? The third guy here is David Montgomery. I think David Montgomery is a massive waste of a pick. This is a guy that you can get, you know, in the 5th round, and people are thinking that he's going to be running back 1. Why would I get David Montgomery as my running back 1 when I know he's the running back 2 who can't stay healthy, dudes? David Montgomery can't stay healthy. Why would you trust a guy that you know is an RB2 as your RB1? Now, everyone's saying, well, Joe, you can go 0 RB, go 0 RB, you know, and just get David Montgomery as your RB1. That is crazy. Why would you settle? Why would you take the most scarce position, limit yourself early on in the draft, and then go ahead and grab a guy who can't even stay healthy, who's definitely probably going to see a significant decline? We don't know. With the new offensive coordinator there, John Morton, with Ben Johnson being gone to Chicago, how do we know? How do we know that David Montgomery is still going to be lightning and thunder? How do we know he's going to have that type of volume? We don't really know. With the new coaching and stuff like that, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And to make him your RB1 or even your RB2 is a major risk, okay? So David Montgomery, he's number 3 here as a bust, a guy that I personally will not be drafting at all. I think he's a huge waste. I think he's going to bust. Mind you, like I said, he's good enough to be a pest with Jahmyr Gibbs and take away that volume. That's what sucks, is that he's good enough to take away volume, but not good enough to be on your fantasy team. Let's put it that way. And last year, played 14 games, 185 attempts, 775 yards, 4.2 yards per carry, and 12 touchdowns. This is why I'm kind of concerned about Gibbs. At the same point, yes, you know, it could be more of a Gibbs show. Now that's breaking news. I didn't talk about the news. They're talking about making Gibbs line up as a wide receiver. Good for him, maybe in PPR. I mean, you could say, well, there's more usage for Montgomery, but we don't know. It's a different offense this year, right? And to spend a 1st round pick on Jahmyr Gibbs, knowing full well that if Montgomery stays healthy, you're looking at 200 attempts. And then you say, well, Joe, 200 attempts, that's good. I could be an RB1. No, you're still settling because you still want running backs that give you 240 to 300 rushing attempts. That's what you want. You do not want to settle David Montgomery. And is he going to stay healthy? Big question marks. I don't trust him. I don't like him. I think he's overrated. I don't like this whole situation there with Detroit. I think there should be one running back, and that's it. And it should be Jahmyr Gibbs, okay? Number 4, I don't think anybody's telling you this because I've been watching a lot of videos just to see how much BS garbage is out there. Number 4 is Brock Bowers. Now, let's talk about Brock Bowers and why he's going to bust this year. Last year, 153 targets, 112 receptions, 1,194 yards, and 5 touchdowns, okay? That is pretty good for a rookie tight end, but you are getting this guy for a value. Why would I now go and pay a 1st or 2nd round pick? First pick in some of the leagues that I'm doing that are 1.5 per reception, right? Very expensive. Why would I pay for a guy in the 2nd round when I was getting him in the 10th or whatever last year? Knowing full well it's a new offense. We got a new quarterback in Geno Smith. They got Gentry, who's going to get more checkdowns and more receptions as a running back. Just adding Gentry alone and changing the quarterback. Never mind drafting Jack Beck in that with the 2nd round and then Dante Thornton in the 4th round. Are you ludicrous? This is ludicrous. Are you crazy, I should say? That is nuts. I would not be investing a 2nd round pick on a tight end. First of all, you should wait on tight end. Go back and check yesterday's episode. Do not do it, guys. Do not go for Brock Bowers here. I think it's crazy. It's a pinnacle astronomical year. The quarterback, just the quarterback change. That should be enough to note this, right? That's it. And the high draft capital. It's way too expensive. Ladd McConkey, Brock Bowers, even Brian Thomas Jr. for that matter. There's a bonus one for you. Very expensive. These are guys we were getting for value in the 16-round draft session last year. Now the sheep are riding them. And you don't need that in your life. You don't need that type of drama in your life. The bust drama, okay? Don't do it. Brock Bowers is going to bust. Pinnacle year. Totally different offense, okay? Let's go here, number 5. And I don't see the hype here. I'm going to convince you not to draft this guy. But Rashee Rice, okay? Now, from what I understand, there is a suspension looming. I don't see it being that serious, or it might not even take effect till probably next year. But why am I fading Rashee Rice? Well, very simple. Round 3 for a wide receiver who is not even confirmed to be the wide receiver 1. You can say, yes, he is. I mean, he played, 4 games last year. 3 of them were viable, looked good in those 3 games, and I get it. You know, but listen to this, okay? Let's take a look at Rashee Rice here and the situation. They've got Hollywood Brown, who was banged up. I think he had shoulder issues last year. They got Juju there. They got Juju and Hollywood Brown. That should be enough right there to say, oh my God, maybe Hollywood Brown's the one. I'm sure he's not, but what if he is? Okay, assuming that Juju and Hollywood Brown are not there, you got Xavier Worthy. Now, Xavier Worthy, you can say he's a one-trick pony, he's a speedster, I'm not concerned. He peaked at 98 targets last year. Hopkins was there, he had 80. So now you have Hopkins gone, but you guys still got Worthy there who peaked at 98 and he's still there. So if Worthy's peaking at 98, how much volume is there? I'll tell you how much volume. Now, there is a good thing now with Mahomes. He was 3rd in passing attempts. He's going to throw 580 times potentially, which is going to be good. So you got 580 attempts there, which is good. But then still, you got Kelsey, who's the one. Kelsey had 133 targets last year. So you got Worthy and Kelsey there. You got Hollywood Brown potentially being healthy. If Hollywood Brown is healthy, now you got more target dilution. You got target dilution. You got Pacheco. You got Kareem Hunt. You got all these other options. And Rashee Rice is not the one. It's always been Kelsey. It always will be Kelsey until the end of time, until these guys retire or essentially, I don't know, someone gets hurt or something like that. But I think that either way, like this is like one of those cluster, you know what situations like last year where everyone was telling you to draft. Hey guys, go ahead and draft Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel round 3, which was ludicrous. Why would you go ahead and do that? That is crazy. Okay? And I told you to avoid that situation. Now, you got the situation where Rice is coming off whatever round 3 it is. And where is he? Yeah, like give or take round 3, 40th overall. 40th overall. I got wide receivers and running backs that are going to finish ahead of him. I could draft in the 12th round. Okay? And you're telling me that I spent a 3rd round pick when Kelsey's the one and Kelsey gets a discount at like round 7? I'd rather have Kelsey, to be honest with you. Okay, so Rashee Rice is in a terrible situation. Hollywood Brown is going to be healthy, right? Remember, he was the one. No, but I thought Worthy's the one. But hold on, Kelsey's the real one. Do you understand? Like, it makes 0 sense to me. That's why ADPs and rankings don't work. They're out there to screw you, okay? It's not going to work. So I think Rashee Rice is a big-time waste of a pick, okay? Let's move on to number 6 here, George Kittle. George Kittle, 43 overall. Around mid-round 3 is kind of his ADP for a guy who's also coming off yet a pinnacle year. Okay, a pinnacle year. And there was injuries on that 49ers offense, and CMC was sidelined. So, you know, a healthy CMC, potentially, you know, a healthy Pearsall, and that offense just being healthy in general. Ayuk, no one did anything last year, right? So you've got now Kittle, who's still kind of being drafted based on what he did last year, which is absolutely crazy. What a waste, honestly, what a waste of a pick. And George Kittle for a tight end that literally is going essentially very expensive based on last year and all the injuries there with the 49ers. I do not, for any circumstance, think that he is a good pick there at round 3. When I told you yesterday in the tight end show, you want to wait on tight end. You want to wait on this position, okay? And there's a bunch of tight end sleepers you can stack and be good at that position that are going to essentially outperform George Kittle, okay? Number 7 here is Chuba Hubbard. I'm going to make my way back to the tennis courts here because my kids are getting ready for lunch. I got to go help out with some things like that. So I'm making my way back to the tennis courts. I'm leaving nature here. Like, what nature, Joe? That's a soccer court. That's a soccer court. That's a soccer field, Joe. What are you doing? But yeah, man, I'm just going to head back here. I guess it wasn't as naturist. The Lions and the Bears, I was kind of joking about that. I want to make it seem like I was in an adventure place, but it's pretty safe here. There's no danger of wildlife here. But I had you guys going. Number 7 here is Chuba Hubbard. Round 4. Finished 15th last year. Listen, I'm not sold on Chuba Hubbard at all. I think this guy is completely overrated. Stay away. The Chuba Hubbard thing, I don't understand the Chuba Hubbard thing. The Chuba Hubbard thing makes no sense to me. This guy was a 4th round pick in 2021, has done absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. You can say, well, last year he had a good year. He had 250 attempts, 1,195 yards. 1,195 yards, that's pretty good. 10 touchdowns, 4.8 yards per carry. But they brought in another 1,000-yard rusher, Rico Dowdle. Why'd they do that? Because they don't believe in Chuba. Chuba's not the solution. That's why they drafted Jonathan Brooks. That's why they're looking at other options. They drafted Trevor Etienne, right? It's a committee there on a suspect offense, and I'm not sold on Bryce Young. I'm not sold on this entire offense, and I don't see the hype, and I don't see the overpaying of a Chuba Hubbard in whatever, like whatever, round 4 ADP, whatever, round 5. It's crazy, man. Just don't do it. I'm not seeing the Chuba Hubbard thing. It makes zero sense to me, okay? Don't do it. It's a waste. Top heavy on running backs. Don't waste it on a running back that you know, you're going to spend a 4th or 5th round pick that isn't that good and is going to be in a major committee on a suspect offense. Do not do it. I'm going to relax a little bit here. I got 3 more for you. Again, before I get into that, make sure you guys do smash the thumbs up, subscribe. And yeah, man, I'm out here putting myself at risk here in the wildlife for you guys. So make sure you guys hit the thumbs up and grab the 60-round draft solution, all right? Yes, I'm kind of over dramatic here with the outdoor stuff, but let's keep going. So we talked about Chuba, don't do it. Number 8, James Conner. You know how I feel about this guy. He's on borrowed time. I thought he would have got hurt last year, but he's 49th overall. And this guy is very, very expensive. You're going to have to spend a round 4 to round 5 pick. And again, some people thinking that, oh, if I get myself James Conner, I'm going to be good to go as my running back 1. You're not. Okay, we're talking about a guy for the first 6 years, did absolutely nothing. Couldn't rush for 1,000 yards. Took him 6 years to rush for 1,000 yards. Had 2 multiple 1,000-yard rushing seasons. Finished 11th last year, which was good for him. But Trey Benson has to step up. They got to utilize their best running back. That is Trey Benson. And I feel that Trey Benson does get an uptick this year compared to last year. And I'm telling you right now, James Conner is on borrowed time. And the fact that he finished healthy is remarkable for a guy that gets hurt all the time. If they want to win, they got to run Trey Benson. I'm getting Trey Benson later in drafts for a value. And he even came out and said, Trey Benson did, he's like, hey man, we're going to have 2 running back ones. He knows that he underperformed. He knows he had to get comfortable. He needs the volume. He needs the attempts. They need to run Trey Benson. They need to fade this James Conner project because he's just honestly really not that good. I'm going to be straight with you, okay? And I'm getting a lot of birds and stuff making a lot of noise. Hopefully you guys aren't hearing that, but I've got the noise canceling on here on this mic. Hopefully you're not picking up all the chirping and stuff like that. It's really loud, or whatever these things are in the background. Okay, so number 9 here is Tatoria McMillan. And here's the thing with McMillan. Who says that who decided that he is the number 1 wide receiver amongst rookies? Like, who came out and said, hey, we're going to make this guy round 5. He's the guy. Like, it makes zero sense to me. I think he's amazing talent-wise based on what we saw at college. But who says, do we believe in Bryce Young? Do we believe that this offense is going to produce a wide receiver that's going to absolutely crush it? And are we forgetting completely about Leggett? Leggett, who had like 84 targets last year. Thielen had 62. These guys are still there. I don't trust this offense. Yes, it could be a ton of upside, but why would I spend a 5th round pick when I can get myself a Trey Harris later or a Higgins later, right, from Houston, or I can get some of these other rookie wide receiver sleepers, Burden, which I don't really care for Luther Burden, but because I think there's just too many mouths to feed there. But there is other wide receivers that you could get later. Somehow Travis Hunter and McMillan become the top dogs. It's like, okay, well, Trey Harris has a closer path to wide receiver 1 than Travis Hunter does, because Ladd McConkey is not as good as Brian Thomas Jr., right? So Harris could actually be better than Ladd McConkey, whereas Hunter could actually be better than Brian Thomas Jr., but just not as likely. Does that make sense to you? So you got to look at the depth chart and analyze. But McMillan, I'm not sold on him based on that price. If you give him to me in like the 14th round, I may consider it, but I don't know why he's all of a sudden put on this pedestal that McMillan's the alpha there, and I got to spend a 5th round pick on the guy. Not doing it, okay? And the last one, again, the last one's the best, is Puka Nacua, 1st round pick, big time. I just see this guy busting. I don't believe in him. His energy just cries that I'm a wuss, basically. I just saw a video of him basically like gushing over LeBron. He's like, would you rather win the Super Bowl or hang out with LeBron for a week? He's like, oh my God, I don't know. What could I do? Like a little girl. Like, dude, like, you're an NFL player. Grow some balls. He's just an NFL player. He's just a real human. You don't need to sit there and like gush over an an NBA player. Like, dude, you're supposed to be an alpha. You're supposed to be a superstar yourself, and you're gushing over another man. Get a life. So there's that, and then his injuries, and then Devontae Adams there, and Puka giving up his jersey number for another man. Like, it's just weak, man. It's all beta energy for me. And for that reason, I'm out. I'm out on Puka just for the beta energy. That's it. I don't need any other reason. There is other reasons like limited target share. They got Terrence Ferguson there. They got Adams there. They got Kyron Williams there, especially around that goal line work. He wasn't a big touchdown guy, was Puka. He only had, what, 3 touchdowns last year? Not good, just under 1,000 yards. So obviously injury is a concern. Obviously Adams is a concern. Obviously the beta energy is a concern. So I'm personally fading Puka Nacua for fantasy football 2025 and making him a bust here in the first round. Now, he could come out and have an explosive year and absolutely crush it, but literally, I would have to say that Adams is going to have to take a significant backseat, which I don't see him doing because he's never done that in his entire career. And I think he's good enough to be a viable wide receiver one still, even though he's on the tail end of his career. So that's it, guys. Top 10 fantasy football bust, stay away, do not draft, however we want to call it. Those are your 10 names there. Some of these guys, could they bust or could they be good? They could still be good. Some of these guys could absolutely still crush it, but you really run the risk, man, because I'm giving you guys the red flags. When you look at any player, you got to take a look at the red flags and say, hey, could this guy bust? Will he bust? What red flags are surrounding him? And look at the depth chart and say, hey, what else could happen? Right? Last year, everybody had Christian Kirk ahead of Brian Thomas. I'm like, dude, no. You know, and I saw that. I'm like, I can clearly see that. And I'm seeing it this year, or CMC first overall. I'm like, no, don't do it. So I'm seeing it with these guys. I'm seeing a lot of red flags with these guys. I have no stock in any of these guys. So you guys, it's up to you guys to make a decision on whether you want them on your team based on what I've just said. Hope you guys enjoyed the nature walk. Hope you have an outstanding day. Subscribe, thumbs up, and I'll see you in the 16-round draft session. I also offer direct coaching and join the Patreon group for the in-season and outstanding fantasy football advice you won't get anywhere else. I appreciate you. Have yourself an outstanding day. Go get some sunshine and vitamin D yourself. Talk soon.